Alright guys, it's Chris from Galatober24.
Alright guys, this is my surfboard table. I practice surfboard.
Bro.
Alright man, let's get started.
Let's get started.
So, apparently this vehicle has a code and it's a P0021, and basically it's saying that the timing is over advanced, correct? Right?
Yes.
So that is bank 2. So bank 2 is right here, and we have this cover pulled off. Already we have tried to swap out the sensor. We swapped out the cam sensor, and we swapped out the solenoid one time. But let me show you what happened and what we discovered, because when I swapped it with a used one, and I was thinking it was good, but apparently that one was bad as well. So we're gonna show you how we tested it, what we did to determine that we have another bad part. And now you can have a P0011, which will be bank 1, will be right here, and then P0021 will be bank 2. So let's go ahead and cut to that and show you how to test this thing. This is the cover that goes right over the timing chain sprocket. This goes over it right here, and right here you can see this is the sensor. That's the cam sensor, and this is the actuator. So let me show you exactly what happened. And before we continue, if you happen to have a P0011 and a P0021 at the same time, and you have a oil low pressure code as well, you need to stop. You need to check your oil, check if there's any sludge or anything, change that oil out, fill it up, do whatever you have to do, because if you're having both of them at the same time, it more than likely means that there's low oil pressure and this solenoid isn't working correctly because of the low oil pressure. So just stop, don't start the car anymore, check the oil. Everyone should check the oil, period.
Period.
But let's move on and discuss what's going on here. So right here, right in front of me, I have a multimeter and I have it set to ohms. And what that is doing is it's checking the continuity on the wires. And basically I'm just touching them together, making sure my leads are good and they ohm out to 0. Let's see if we could get them. Okay, so we have, there it goes to 0. So I know that the leads are in good, decent shape to test this out. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the coil on the actuator, on the solenoid. So I have it probed on here. I have one to the left side and one to the right side. It does not matter how you hook it up. Forward, backwards, it doesn't matter. You're checking to see if you have anything, okay? So I'm hooking it up like this, okay? Now we're gonna just let it sit there, and you're gonna see that we're getting 7.5 ohms, okay? So that means that the coil is not open and it's not shorted. If it was open, it would show nothing. If it was shorted, it would go to 0 or close to 0. It would show 0 on the meter, just like if I was touching these together. Like if I touch these together, you can see the meter, it goes down, okay? So that means that the coil is shorted, and you have discovered your problem. Your problem is the coil is bad. Replace the solenoid and move on. But let me show you what happened to us. The one I have installed here has already been replaced. This was a one that we had left over from the old engine, the one with the rod knock, and I basically swapped it out. And I ohmed it out and the coil checked out good. And I was thinking, hey, it's good. So I installed it. But let me show you this. This is the one that I discovered. I figured it was bad. I did not test it all the way. I just ohmed it out. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna plug it in here. And we're getting 7.5, the same thing as this one, okay? So, which one is bad? Well, let me show you, they're both bad. All right, so we discovered that they're both bad. And let me show you the one that is good, and let me show you what it ohms out to. 7.6, very similar. 7.5, 7.6, very similar. So that means that the coil on all three of these are good. They're all good, okay? But let me show you how I tested it, and I discovered that it's jammed. There's 2 of them that are jammed, and there's 1 that's good. Let me show you this. So I have here a power probe, and what this device is used for is to test if there's power, to test if there's ground, and to add power. You can add power to the circuit, and you could add ground to the circuit. I'm gonna add power and ground to the solenoid, and we're gonna see if it activates, because this is just a coil, it's just an electromagnet, and it should move back and forth. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm removing the leads that I have hooked up to the multimeter out of the way, and now I'm just placing one, it doesn't matter which one, on one side and one on the other side, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and energize the bad one first. And you know that the circuit is complete and it's recognizing it because it shows you right here that it's, okay? Because if I disconnect it, it shows that it's not complete, and it's showing that it is sensing that it's going through a circuit. I'm gonna go ahead and power it up, and there is nothing happening with the solenoid at all, okay? Now I'm gonna hook up the one that I know it's good, and I'm gonna show you what it should sound like. Oh, it's not working either now. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
It clicks.
It clicks, it opens, it moves back and forth. The diaphragm opens back and forth. So the way this works is there's oil pressure coming in from one side, and not until the computer says, hey, pressurize the cam, it doesn't activate the solenoid. So if it's jammed, if it's not working, the coil is good, but if it's jammed and it's not working, it's not moving back and forth, it's not gonna work, and that's what's going on. So I just wanted to show you guys, because there is really nothing out there. We looked everywhere. Ohm it out. If it shows that it has ohms, then go ahead and jump. You could go ahead, you don't have to use a power probe. You could use a battery and just put positive, negative. If that solenoid's moving back and forth, okay, move on to something else. It could be the connector, check the power there. It could be the timing chain, could be moved. It could be a worn timing chain. It could be the sprocket. You could have low oil, check your oil. This could be clogged. I have seen it. I repaired a car a long time ago where this was clogged, and there was a piece of junk. It broke the screen, and there was a piece of junk stuck in there, and the valve wasn't opening back and forth. I basically just pulled it off there. The person didn't have too much money. I put it back in the vehicle, and it worked. So basically right now what I'm just gonna do is just swap this thing out, and it's just as simple as this. It's not hard. Okay, it does have an O-ring right here. You want to make sure that you lube this up before you slide the other one in there. You definitely don't want to pinch this O-ring. So I'm just going to remove this one because I know this one is good, and then pop it in this side.
Aren't you supposed to be wearing gloves?
Sure.
Oh, that slid in easily.
That's what she said. If you guys know me personally, you know I like to mess around a lot, like a little bit too much. I get in people's nerves at times. You know, there's this one crackhead I locked in a freaking closet one time, and he freaked the fuck out. He had it coming to him, but I locked him in a closet, and he flipped out. And I was just joking, but he cried like a little bitch and hammered his way out of that fucking closet. It was hilarious. Like I said, I take it too far. So I'm just gonna mark these because I know these two are bad, but I might fix them later. I might experiment with them in my channel. I might see if it's worth repairing them, cleaning them. So look out for that video. I'm gonna mark these so I know these are bad. All right, so there's a little bit of a tight fit. So what I am doing is just gonna move this coolant jug out of the way. And now we should have enough room here. The solenoid sits down here somewhere, and this is their can sprocket, and you can see these have these teeth, and this is where it picks up the timing, and this is what could be bad as well. This sprocket, perhaps, I don't know, I have to look it up. This more than likely has a seal inside here, and it might leak, and it might be faulty because of that. So you could be losing oil pressure where this isn't able to advance and retards. Basically, putting this cover back on is pretty straightforward. There's nothing special about it. You guys should be up and running very quickly with the help of this video.
And guys, if you guys have any leftover 10mm bolts,
Send them my way because I'm collecting them. I'm gonna melt them all together and build me another car. If you're getting value out of this video, definitely subscribe. Definitely follow Gallo12, Gallo24, and follow Pro Builds as well, because I have a ton of how-to videos in there. So give us a like, man.
yeah, everything helps, and it'll help with making better content for you guys as well.
Absolutely. Alright guys, so we're basically ready to start the vehicle, but first we should clear the codes before we start it. So we do have 2 scan tools, and we're going to flip heads, this is heads, and tails to see which one we're going to use. Heads is snap-on, tails is the all-tell. Let's see who wins.
I pick heads.
You pick heads? Alright, obviously tails.
Tails, yeah.
But here it goes. Oh! Snappy!
Snap on for the
Snappy
win.
it is. Alright guys, so this is the all-tell. If you haven't seen the video that I made on this, it's got like 24,000 views or some crazy shit. I'm comparing both of these, and this is a budget scan tool that you could use at home, $500 versus a $5,000 scan tool. So check out that video and see what this one could do.
A few moments later.
And like that, she's running smooth. Right now we're gonna go and take it for a spin.
Yo, so far so good. We're gonna see if we get on in a little bit what happens, because the code was activating right as we were getting around 2,500 RPMs. Nice and smooth, man.
Yeah, very smooth. Man.
Power, bro.
Oh man.
It's got power.
Jesus.
It's really helping.
Downshifts great, shifts up great,
Yeah.
feels good.
Remember, guys, this was a manual swap.
Yeah.
I completely manual swapped everything here.
This right here would have been an automatic crappy transmission.
That's right.
And look at this, beautiful 6-speed, like butter.
Alright guys, so if you got any value off of this video, please subscribe, follow us, follow Gallo12, Gallo24, and check out Pro Builds. We got you covered, bro.